Hey guys, welcome back to the Zaner Honey Farm. Today should be a pretty interesting day. I'm going to be showing you a few things. I tried to get the word out. I was telling you about yesterday. We're going to be doing a few interesting things. In the meantime, I've actually learned a few things from, thankfully, some of you that are beekeepers messaged me through the page, and it gave me this pretty good insight as to like my current situation and what's going on with the bees. So something that I learned is, as you saw on my last video, I was actually showing you how they were balled up and how they're not going in the hive, and they've been staying there. And right now, I'll show you, they are actually still doing it. They're pretty calm right now. The sun has set a little bit, but they are still in the little wad. So, and another thing I did, which is going to tie into what I'm going to show you here in a little bit, I took, this was the entrance reducer. You can put it in just like that, and it's a little hole. You can pull it out, and it's a bigger hole, or you can take it out altogether. I'm taking it out because there are still some in there, and the bulk of the swarm is still in that wad. So as you saw in one of my previous videos, I actually left some of the feeder gel, that sweet gel that they put in on the cage, and I left it in there, and that's fine from what I've been told. But I really needed to start using, stop being cheap and start using the 1 part per 1 part sugar water. So for feed. So I'm going to show you that here in a little bit. I've already pre-made that because when you do it, you have to boil up your water, and then you have to mix in equal parts sugar into that water. So, and then you got to let it cool down for a little bit. And how I'm actually going to apply that is I actually have an in-frame feeder, which I bought from Farm and Fleet, and they it's a little plastic, it looks like a frame, but it's got ladder pieces on it so that they can crawl down in there. And I'm hoping that I can actually use that as kind of like a trap, because the way they're acting right now is, unbeknownst to me up until I heard last night, was that they are acting this way to exactly my point because they don't have a queen. Well, hopefully I hear something tomorrow about the queen coming in, but until then, I'm going to try and trap them in there by giving them some good sweet sugar water bee feed, so that they'll maybe feel more inclined to go inside the hive. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to monitor it over the next, let's say 24 hours, and then see how they do. Like tomorrow morning, afternoon, I'll probably come out here and see if they've been attracted to that, and if they go in. And then what I'll end up doing is putting that entrance reducer back in. I'll slide it in, and then I'll put the small hole on, and then I'll actually I'll figure out something, and I'll put something in that little hole, and then I'll keep them in there, and they'll have plenty of feed to go on. And that feeder holds 3 quarts of syrup, and that'll be enough for them, a full hive for a week. So that should be enough for them for a good long while. And I tried to make exactly just enough to fill it up. So we'll see how long it goes. We'll see what happens with that, and we'll move forward with that. So now I'll bring you guys over, and I'll show you what the feed actually looks like. All I did was, again, I just put water, 3 quarts of water in, and then and then I put that equal amount in cups of sugar. So let me turn this around. So this, so that you guys know what I got and what I mixed in here, I actually used spring water, not filtered, not chlorinated, not messed with. And the sugar that I used was Kirkland organic cane sugar from Costco. You can buy it at Costco. It comes in a green bag. Whenever I need something like that, I love Costco because they always have a lot of crap, and they're a lot better than Sam's Club in my opinion. But that's what I bought. So and because it's not white sugar, it actually turned this a better, more brown color. So, and I made this about 45 minutes ago, and it's about room temperature to touch. It's a little warm, but once I put some of it in the feeder, it'll definitely cool down because it's going to be a thin thing. And then I'll show you what that actually looks like. Hold on. So this is your in-frame feeder. So it looks like this. It takes the place of a frame inside your hive. This is one of the frames. So, and if you guys don't know what these are beeswax foundations. And hey, how's it going? And these are completely made out of beeswax, and this is to give them something to build on, so that when they start to make comb, because if you go without the foundations, all these frames being in like this, right next to each other, they'll start not growing them just like this across it. They'll start moving them out this way, and then you'll have problems, and then when you go to move it up, it'll destroy the comb. So this gives it a good foundation. Some beekeepers, what they'll do is once they've already had a couple of seasons and harvest of comb, they'll cut out the comb, and then they'll do an open frame, and they'll take like string or something. And again, I'm only getting my information from other beekeepers I've watched on YouTube. And what they'll do is they'll hold that comb in on that open frame, and then they have a piece that's flat that they can build on and fill that frame back up. And then you don't have any foundation. So, but this is just wax, and as you can see, it bends. So, but anyway, this is your in-frame feeder. I'll fill this up, and then what you do is you stick this piece in like this, and these are little ladders for them to go down so they don't just jump in it and drown. And you fit it in just like that, and then clip it on, and then you just sit it in the hive, and then it'll fill it back, and then they'll have their feed for a very long time. So I'll sit this over here, and I'm actually gonna fill this up now, because that sugar water is pretty cooled down now. I wanted to make sure that I had it not boiling hot or even too warm before I went to go fill it up, because, and then the video, obviously it'd take forever, and then I wouldn't know what to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up. Oop, oop. We got some leakage. Let's see how this sits in there. So that's pretty full. I'll show you guys how much that filled up right there. So that filled up pretty nice right there. And then you just stick it in kind of like that. And then they can crawl down this part, and then they can keep going because this piece extends all the way to the bottom. And then they'll just dip it in like a drink, but it'll have sugar on it for them to feed on. So let me go ahead and kind of top that off just a little bit, because I have some extra. I'm gonna clip this on. Oop. Okay. Top that off. Hey, that worked out real nice. Okay. Oh, every time I come out here, you're just sticky, sticky, sticky. Okay. Wow, that's really sweet. Like, holy crap. So, we'll take this and we'll haul it over here to the hive. Hopefully I don't spill too much. And then we'll set it in and see how they like this. Now, if this horribly fails, this is just an attempt. This is not me saying this is a bona fide way of getting them in there. But this is just me being done with being cheap and me trying to do an actual attempt to get them to there. So now you guys can actually see me put it in. Okay. So yeah, see, already putting that in there, it cooled like 10 times more. So again, I always take the bottom side of my covers and face them up in case they're laying on the underside. And then what I'm gonna do is, with the ones that are on this feeder cup that I left in there, let's see. Maybe I'll leave this in there, but maybe I'll move this over. And try not to spill. Oh yeah, that fit in there real nice. Oh, one's already going to it. Okay. So, now that we got that in there, let me show you what it looks like on the inside. So, see how that fit right along. It's got those little lips where it can sit just like how the frames do. See? So, and you've already got one over here licking up some little bits. Whoops, had the camera wrong. So, you've already got some in here that hopefully they will, because see, without that entrance reducer in there, that's a big open gap for them to come in. And normally that hole would be like right around there, but now it's one big slot. So they'll hopefully see this and they'll crawl up in here and they'll go up inside, and then once like they go up inside again, I'm gonna put that entrance reducer back on there and I'll figure out something to like cork that little hole. So So now that that's back on, a lot of this, when it comes to like everything, it's baby steps, and then it seems like you got to do something a little, like a big change. Like it's small, but it has a big impact. So like just filling up that frame feeder with like sugar water, it's that hopefully that takes these back in there, even though they don't have a queen. And that small little thing will hopefully get them back in there, and it's a lot of just letting the bees do their thing. I want to give a big shout out to the 2 guys that messaged me and were kind of like talking to me about the different things that I was doing, inquiring about like my hives and stuff like that, and were helping me out with that. One of y'all lived out in the state of Washington. I don't know what kind of bees you had, but I've got Italians. I got Italians because they're calm, because they're not aggressive bees. Now, Italians are more vulnerable to varroa mites, but at the same time, they're also good foragers, and they're big time producers on honey. So they're calm, and they do the job that I want them to do. So, and that hopefully that you all want them to do, because eventually if they reproduce and I get a queen coming out here and they have, you know, like quadrupled their size, hopefully that single box will turn into a second box that I have to put up there for them to live, and then that'll turn into a third box so that they can start making excess honey. And then you'll see me actually put in what they call a queen separator. It's a little plastic piece that you slide in between one hive body and the top, and the very most top one that you're going to be pulling out their harvestable honey, the excess that they make for storage, and that's the stuff that I pull out. You put it in underneath that one, and then she's so big because she's a queen, she can't get up through the slots, but every other bee can. The drones, the worker bees, they can all get up in there. So hopefully once they get a queen in there, hopefully once they start to realize that they got a thing in there, everything starts working out. It's little baby steps like that. And then to the guy in Oklahoma, I think it was, that messaged me, thanks for telling me all the information that you did. I appreciate it. Again, for any of you that are watching or see this video and you're doing beekeeping, just know that I have Italians. I just started. And for any of you that are inquiring about honey or honeycomb, I don't have any. My bees won't even go in the hive right now. I've had them for 5 days now. I think this is the 5th day since that first video when I shook them into the hive, and they're not even in the hive right now. I have empty frames, just foundation on them. I'm trying to get everything working. I don't even have a live queen, so it's kind of a mess right now, but everything's kind of like, we're trying to figure this out. So again, shout out to those guys. But I want to say something, that if you ever think that you're going to be beekeeping or starting out, find every region in the US has its own requirement for like weather and what you want to do with, as far as like the production rate. Somebody that lives in, you know, the north is going to need something a little bit different that lives in the south, that needs a little bit something different that lives in like California or one of the western states, that like Wyoming or something like that. We all have different weather, climates, humidity levels, temperatures, cold, hot, humid, dry, and stuff like that, precipitation and stuff like that. So the type of bee you get has to suit the region that you're going to be in. And let's say you don't kind of really go with that, you're going to have to do different catering to those bees, because like if you're in a cold area, you're going to have to, like, let's say when you're going through winter, you're going to have to winterize, and like somebody in South Carolina or well, at least southern South Carolina or Florida, where the winters don't really get below 40 on average. I know y'all have like a frost and it kills all of like the oranges and stuff, and that's horrible, but like, again, on average, your winters don't get that cold, so you're gonna need you're gonna have to do different catering to your bees. Yeah, so again, I'm just starting off. Anybody watching the video, I don't have any honey. I don't have any honeycomb. But this is why we're doing what we're doing right now, so that we can help these bees get to where they need to be, no pun intended, so that they can start reproducing once I get a queen, and they can start producing honey and gathering nectar and pollen and stuff like that. This junk ass plot that I have right now, eventually I'm gonna get it cleared out, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start planting flowers around it. Right now, the small goal is those little cups in the pallet. I want to fill those with basically like repot the flowers in those, so that they're right next to them. That's just a small little thing. It won't take but like maybe 15 minutes to remove flowers and put them in there with some soil, or the soil that they come in. I have some right now. I have some dwarf sunflowers, I have lavender, and I have coneflowers. And then eventually, once I want to go bigger, I have the seeds for a variety of different specific flowers that are high nectar producing, so that when I have them in the area, they're right here only, and not only will those flowers thrive because they're getting pollinated, but they're going to have high production of nectar, and then I will be pretty comfortable with knowing that they should be producing a lot of honey. So again, we'll see what happens, but you have to keep watching to see all that. So on the other thing, with a lot of the different comments and stuff like that I've been getting, something I wanted to say about that. One, I kind of advise you to kind of watch all of my videos. I don't really think they're very long. I'm an avid YouTube watcher myself, so like I learn a lot of different things off of YouTube. Watching a 20 to 40 minute video is not really, I didn't think was like time consuming. I'm not saying everything on here is interesting, but just skip through it. If you just want to get to the part where you want to see it, just skip through it. And I would say, if you're wondering about anything that I'm doing in the videos, just kind of press that little dot on the time bar at the bottom of the Facebook or YouTube video, and you'll just get to the part where you want to see like what the bees are doing, what they're looking like, what I'm talking about. The comments and stuff that I've been getting kind of supersede that you haven't watched the video. I would just say watch them. I do have them in order. Again, if you go to YouTube, Zaner Honey Farm, on the like wall or whatever on the YouTube channel, they're in order, starting from I think the bottom, working up. You'll see them in order from the day I put them in there, each of the overview days that I've had, and then obviously today. Here after a while, when I get done with the video, I'll post that one. So if you watch them in order, you'll see the little things that I've been talking about. I've seen some misplaced ones on there. For anybody that is local that I've seen join my page, or subscribe to the channel, any of my friends and stuff like that, thank you. All of the support and stuff that I've been getting and stuff like that from for watching the Facebook or the YouTube channel is much appreciated. When the word gets out, it means a lot of people will be watching. We're supposed to be having some good times and showing you some interesting stuff on the channel. And I really just want to say thank you to everybody so far. I think I've got 10 or 11 subscribers, something, on YouTube. And but I obviously have a lot more because I've been doing Facebook Live. I've got I think we're up to 180 on the page. So I know at least 180 of you are getting a notification that I'm making a video or I'm doing the video live or something like that. So I want to say thank you to everybody that's supporting the page and stuff like that. When you have questions, go ahead and ask. I'm going to be honest with you. Some people say there's no such thing as a dumb question. There is a such thing as a dumb question, but but feel free to ask anything you want, okay? But to delay some of those questions, I want to kind of something that I kind of jumped over. I kind of been messaging you people and kind of just promoting the page and stuff like that. And there's a lot of you out there that don't really know me, of a variety of details about me. My name is Zach Zahner. I was born and raised in northern and central Illinois. I am a veteran of the Marine Corps and the Navy. I did 7.5 years. I was in the Marine Corps for 5. I was in the infantry, and then I did the Navy for 2.5 years. I was a religious program specialist. If you guys don't know what that is, that's just a chaplain's bodyguard and administrative assistant. And I was attached to a reserve unit in that time. I was active duty in the Marine Corps, but reserves in the Navy. Cross-assigned over back with the Marines again. And I just finished that. I was done with that last year. That's my time in the military. And I'm a big advocate for, veterans and military help. And one of the, I'll get into that in a little bit. One of the personal details about me, let's see, I'm big on fitness. I'm big on staying healthy. I'm big on doing natural stuff. I'm big on travel. I'm big on doing personal stuff. Any of you Marines or any of my family and friends that are watching this, you guys know that I'm a chatty Cathy. I'm not the most politically correct. This channel, by the way, I don't care who's watching. This is not a, now that it comes to mind, this is not a political advocation channel. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what your cause is. This is my cause, beekeeping and caring for them and trying to make honey and doing something fun. And yeah, I don't care about your politics. You maybe from time to time you might hear mine slip out, but that doesn't interfere with like any of you that eventually become customers, or any of you that want to get stuff from me. I'm tired of hearing about coronavirus. I'm tired of hearing about stupid COVID and wearing masks and the dumb policies about all this. In 2020, I traveled a lot to a lot of different places. I never caught it. I don't really believe in all this crap. I think it's dumb, and I've heard of people that got the COVID shot, and I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of talking about it, and that's my opinion on that. As far as politics, I don't care who you voted for. I'm tired of hearing about that crap. I'm tired of hearing about all these riots and whining and complaining and all that stuff. It's sick, it's gross, and I would just like to be able to go back to the store again and greet people and people not be so mean and conniving. part of the reason why I joined the Navy after the Marine Corps was specifically to do the job that I did, being a religious program specialist, so that I could help Marines out. And I'm a helpful kind of person. I try to be, at least. I'm saying that in a completely humble way. Anybody that knows me knows that I can be an a-hole from time to time, but I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. And none of us are perfect. And we all try to do better every day. But at the end, I try to help as many people as I can. And, you Marines that are watching, hopefully you picked that up with me. Hopefully you still know that's true. Hopefully you Marines that know that I'll never give up on you, and I'm always here for you, and my house is your house. And if you ever needed anything, you better not hit me up through this page. You Marines better call me or text me. You guys better have had my phone number by now. But that's my thing. Something leading into that conversation, something I wanted to talk about on here is that veteran suicide, military suicide. I've lost so many friends in my time in, that if I had one of those memorial bands for each one that committed suicide, not even like died in combat or something dramatic, just from suicide, both of my arms would be armor plated. I would have way too many, up to my shoulder. I'm tired of losing friends. I'm tired of losing people that I worked with and people that I shared good times with and memories with, and that were junior Marines of mine. And I'm tired of losing people that I just cared deeply about. It seems like at least once a month, almost, maybe for a few times there, maybe it was every other month, thank God, but about every month I get a text or a phone call about somebody dying because they committed suicide. For you people that are on the active duty military side, as leaders of soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and Coast Guardsmen, you guys are NCOs, petty officers, staff NCOs, commissioned officers. Your leaders, your job is not to tell them they need to come to you. We're talking about military people. Your job is to ask them if they're okay. Part of being a leader is making sure that your Marines, airmen, soldiers, sailors, and Coast Guardsmen, and I guess I think they're calling them guardians now for the Space Force. Your job is to make sure that they are okay, because when they're not okay, they're combat ineffective, and when they're combat ineffective, the unit is no good. So, as a leader of service members, your job is to make sure that they're okay, not just on making sure that they're eating and that they're physically trained and they got all their gear. Your job is to also make sure that they are doing okay at home. Is mom doing okay? Have you talked to your family in a while? Your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever. And make sure that they're okay. If they're not okay, you're not doing your job, because they need to know that you're approachable and that they can come to you. But at the same time, most service members are not just going to come up to you and complain about, hi, I have a problem, listen to me, complain. No, you need to be the one that goes to them and digs it out of them. That's what I learned. That's why I joined the Navy, to be a religious program specialist. I think at this point, all my Marines knew that they could come to me and tell me anything. And when the ones that weren't coming to me and telling me anything, they knew I was being a crowbar and prying their little brains open and trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Because that's what you got to do sometimes, because they're not going to open their mouth. And people that are really suffering from stuff in life, it can be small to you or big to you, regardless, they're going through it and they need to know how to deal with it. And not everybody knows how to deal with every problem. When it comes to the veteran side of things, it's almost worse, because now they're scattered to the winds and they're not in their unit, where you've got an NCO, staff NCO, commissioned officer to come up to you every day and say, hey, how's it going, devil dog? Hey, how's it going, soldier? Or whatever they say. I'm a Marine, and I was in the Navy, but really just with the Marines for 7.5 years, so I don't really know the terminology, but I'm going to do my best and make Marine Corps references. But you're not just going to come up to some Marine and be like, or some Marine's not just going to come up to you and be like, oh, hey, listen to my problems. You're going to have to be like, hey, devil dog, how's it going? Everything going okay at home? You know, and you're going to have to pick up body language, verbiage, stuff like that. And you're going to have to dig into them. And when it comes to veterans, you're all scattered to the winds. You don't have that person in your life digging in there. So now it's even worse, because then they're in, you know, out in the middle of nowhere, out on the farm. They're here in some town and they're trying to figure out life. They're trying to figure out what job to go to, where they're going to find. And with the stupid COVID, you know, the whole economy shut down because our society has failed and has little to no respect anymore and completely lost its mind and thought we were in the apocalypse. Well, now the economy's bad. So imagine how many veterans are committing suicide now. I can name like 10. Like off the top of my, you know, so I mean, it's a lot worse. And veterans are going through, like when I first got out, I kind of dealt with a little bit of separation anxiety and a little bit of depression, and I didn't know why. And I realized that once I got out, I may have complained about all the stuff that I was going through and the people it was really just the stupid officers in charge. Honestly, I have no respect for officers. If you're an officer and you're a good guy, sorry, but I'm prejudiced against officers. I don't care. You people are worthless desk jockeys, and you do not run the military. Like, those people were treating me like crap. They weren't letting the unit do what it needed to do. It was pissing the NCOs off. They were pissed off at us. Everybody was just mad. And then everybody gets treated like crap. Well, beyond all that, I loved going to the field. I loved doing my job. I loved the infantry. People that were in might be like, oh, that sounds kind of weird. But like, or that know me were like, man, I thought you hated it. No, I never hated the Marine Corps. I never hated my job. I hated the people that were in charge. And it drove me freaking crazy how worthless they were. But when I got out, I realized all those good times that I had that were, I don't know, maybe worth staying in, maybe worth not, but I got out for a reason. I couldn't handle it anymore. All this stupid politics, because once you're an officer, you're basically a bureaucratic politician, and I can't stand those kinds of people. And so once, you know, I got out, I realized all those good times. I mean, I miss my brothers. I missed them. I miss them today. I miss all of you guys. If you ever watch this video, I miss you guys. Going to a buddy's wedding last fall, seeing a bunch of the old guys, that really did me some good at the time, because I was kind of in like a little bit of an emotional down point. And when I got to see all my old brothers from my first unit, I mean, that did me some good. Which points me to the fact that if you know a veteran, if you know somebody that served, I don't care if they're 23 and just got done, 22, 23 years old and just got done doing their first 4 years, or if they're 85 and they were, you know, in during Korea or something, or 90 during Korea. I don't care. If you know a veteran, I'm not saying go, oh, thank you for your service. Make sure they're doing okay. I'm not saying bow down and buy them a whole house full of groceries. They might be doing fine economically and stuff like that. But how are they doing in here? How are they doing up here? Make sure they're doing okay. Not everything's combat related. Everybody wants to associate everything with combat. Sometimes it's just not being in that's the problem. Sometimes it's not being around your brothers that's the problem. Because when you're in the military, you love your dudes. You can complain to them. You can say stuff to them that you wouldn't say to your wife, your mom, your brother, your father, whatever. It's a different culture. And I know, especially as Marines, sorry to the other services, but you Marines out there know there's some stupid people in the Marine Corps. But at the end of the day, like, some airmen come up and start talking crap about the most stupidest dude in our unit, we'd probably screw them up, probably kick their butt. And but that's how Marines are. We don't care. We're Marines, and as veterans, you need to really stick with one another. That's the biggest reason why I re-enlisted, was because of that separation from service. And I wanted to do something that was not only fulfilling, but something that I felt that I would be good at. And I gave it a little long while, but again, bureaucratic politics of officers got in the way. So stop doing your push-up videos. Stop doing your stupid post on Snapchat, and stop doing your I'm going to do 22 of this a day. The average of 22 veterans dying a day is because you're just doing push-up videos and Snapchat posts and stuff like that. Stop doing that crap and reach out to a veteran and make sure he's okay. Give him a friend. He's probably feels like he's alone, even though he's probably not. And the problem is not that he's probably alone. He just feels that way. So you need to make sure that he knows he's not alone. There's a difference. Understand it. Go make a difference in a veteran's life. Some of y'all that are the same age as me, that served during the same time, like, you know what I'm talking about. And you're probably not going to say anything. You're probably not going to go on about, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And you're probably going to hide it. And maybe you never do anything dramatic like that. But you know exactly what I'm talking about. And for any of you guys out there that are veterans and you're not doing anything about it, but then you want to be moto and say, oh, that's so sad. Stop talking about it unless you're doing something. Be effective. Help our brothers. It doesn't matter what service you are in. Help somebody from a different service branch. It doesn't matter. I'm tired of hearing about service members taking their own lives, and it bothers the holy living crap out of me. And I want you guys to be effective out there. Here in this business, on this channel, that's something I stand for. That's something that's not political. That's something that doesn't have to do with any of the societal issues at this moment, other than that of itself. So here at Zahner Honey Farm, me, Zach Zahner, owner, founder, creator, I stand for veteran suicide and the prevention thereof. And every day, I will make it my goal to let you guys know that that's what I stand for. In any way possible, you guys need to reach out to me. I try to reach out to you guys from time to time. I work. I'm not giving excuses. We all have lives, and I've had to grow to accept the fact that I can't help every single person. But at the end of the day, you guys that know me, you guys that I've served with, I love you. So reach out to me. Give me, I will talk to you. And any of you that have already talked to me, you know that I'm comfortable to talk with. So here at Zahner Honey Farm, we stand against veteran suicide, and we want to prevent it. And if there's anybody out there, any businesses, foundations, organizations that want to get a hold of me and part of preventing veteran suicide and active service member suicide, get in touch, because that's what we stand for. So I just wanted to touch basis on that. It bothers the holy living crap out of me, and the reason really why I wanted to get into it was because I lost another brother. I'm not going to name his name. That's private, and respect to the family for that. But leaving it at that, I lost another brother about a week ago, and I got caught up in trying to start this, and I really wanted to talk on that in a later video. And I felt like, getting to know me a little bit and what I stand for, what I want on this channel and stuff like that was a good timing. So now that that's out of the way, if there's any personal questions you guys have, if there's any stuff about like how I plan to take care of them in the future, the bees, if there's any service member questions, stuff like that, you guys can message me about that on the page. If you're friends with me on my personal Facebook, you can leave comments on the YouTube channel videos. Again, this is going right up on YouTube right after I post it on Facebook. And if you have any questions about beekeeping, any advice, I'm learning. So like I just learned like a few little things last night because a couple of beekeepers from across the country, Oklahoma and Washington State, messaged me. And then like now I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. And then like we talked over a few things. Like, beekeepers, hit me up. Like, I need to know this stuff. Like, hopefully the in-frame feeder, hopefully that'll draw them in. It's cooled down. It's sitting in there. They're still in that wad right now. I'm looking at them, and they're not. I think it's just because it's cooler out. I mean, it's about 55, I think, right now, maybe 50 with the shade. The sun went down a little bit and it's clouding up, but they're like not really moving that much. I can show you guys those bees again. They're really not moving now. I can even like, this is how little active they are. I can even touch them and they're not doing anything. They're really calm bees. They're really cold bees, and that's why they're wadded up like this. But I was always curious that if like, I wonder if I lift this up. Yep, they're still attached to the grass. So if you guys have any ideas, like, again, I do not have a queen. I know this is probably why they're acting like that. That's one of you beekeepers told me about this. But if there's any other reason why they'd be doing that, let me know. Any inquiries, any ways to help me. I do have another package of bees with a queen that are going to be here in roughly a week or so. So that's another, I don't know, several thousand bees. I'm going to go pick them up. I'm not having them shipped, and then the Postal Service or Farm and Fleet screw me over again. That's something I think I skipped over earlier. I'm the kind of person that if you burn me once on like the first encounter, I won't ever trust you again. Like, you had one shot as a service person to provide me with like an introduction of excellence to your company. And the first time I ever ordered bees through you, and they're like half dead to include the queen. Like, I'm never doing it through Farm and Fleet again. So I'll get other stuff from them in the store. I'll never order anything from them ever again. If they're gonna, that's just the kind of person I am. But I will get from local. I have Italians coming, so they're all going to be the same bees. I'm not going to get the other ones, the other two species, which are like Russians, and then I really don't know how to pronounce the other one. I think they're Cornolians or something of that effect. I forget how to pronounce it, but there's two other species, and they both have their own different purposes. I wanted calmer ones. They're sitting here in the yard. And they're also supposed to be, they're good foragers and collectors of nectar and honey and stuff like that. So okay, so Timlets, Marine that I went to boot camp with, you ask, with the pollination aspect, are you expecting to see target flowers or plants grow more than usual on your property? I'm hoping that once these guys get settled in, once they start like getting up in population, once they start doing their thing, we're hearing the baby steps right now, but once they get going, I'm hoping that the vegetation here around my area and stuff like that, not only the flowers that I bought and that I plan on planting, but the stuff that we already have here. We have, I mean, flowers and trees and stuff like that. Neighbors and stuff like that all have flowers and stuff like that. And for anybody that's asking, I've already asked the neighbors. None of them use pesticides. None of them. Oh, but bees can fly for miles. Go, okay. But if they go to a plant that has a pesticide on it and they die, they're going to die there. It's not like a thing that they're going to bring back and all that. Or they'll die on the trip back. So the problem with pesticides is that, like, some of these farmers have like let's say they have a spread of land, and then the farmer next door is using pesticides. Well, the wind kicks up and blows over on their patch of land where all their beehives are. I saw a YouTuber that has a whole field and half his hives died. Literally, like tens of thousands of bees, almost 100,000 bees died in a single day because a gust of wind blew the pesticides that the neighboring farmer put on his field and they blew over. I don't have that problem. So, like, I don't have any gust of winds that are going to blow this massive wave of pesticides all over my yard and on my beehive. But here, just to directly answer your question, yes, I do. I have target flowers. I think that's what you mean, is like specific flowers. I'm going to be planting those. But for the rest of the flowers that we have here, like roses and other tulips and stuff like that, I expect them to grow faster, bloom better, and look a little bit longer, or live a little bit longer, and not have as many, like, without bee problems, if that makes sense. Because when you introduce these guys into the area, things come to life, which was also kind of like the benefit, because I like gardening. I think it's like beekeeping. I think it's therapeutic. I think it's interesting. It's something where you can put something in the ground and it's tiny, and over the course of months, if not years, depending on the plant, you can watch it grow. That's your thing. It's kind of like having a child. I do not have children, but I grew up with a lot of little kids starting at 10, 11, 12 years old. And I had all these little kids around. And when you watch them grow, it's amazing, because now I have cousins that are 15 years old, and I remember when I was just a little bit younger than them, watching they were being born, and now you see them turn into young men. It's the same thing with plants. You plant it in the ground, it's your thing to grow, and I think gardening is therapeutic. So I hope that once these guys get going and they're in the hive, they're making honey, they're really spreading the pollen, and they're really collecting the nectar, that the vegetation and stuff, it should, I don't know why it wouldn't, actually, is the question. I don't know why the vegetation, the flowers, all the different plants that we have wouldn't grow a lot better. So if any of you guys have questions, just want to say hello. I have people coming in and out watching right now. It looks like only 3 people at the moment, but I've seen 3 people in and out that are just a variety of different people watching. So, and then I get a crap ton more views of later. But if you're watching, you can send me a message and I'll try to reply as fast as possible. Talk to you and stuff like that. So hopefully that answered your question. I kind of go on rants. That's my bad. But if there's anything else you guys want to ask, that's kind of what I wanted to do today. Kind of something personal I wanted to speak on. Kind of a few personal things that I wanted to hit with today. There's not a big update with the bees, but they are still in the ball. They have an in-frame feeder now. Quick recap. They have the in-frame feeder full of 1-for-1 equal parts water and sugar. So, and that's been dissolved and stuff like that. It's all organic stuff. I didn't put bleached sugar or anything in there. I didn't put chlorinated water. I didn't, you know, add anything weird. There was nothing added to the sugar, nothing added to the water. I'm trying to keep everything about these guys as organic and natural as possible, so that when honey's being created, you guys will have the most natural, organic, and quality product when you guys go to taste it, buy it, and for, you know, years to come, whenever things hopefully blossom and push off with everything I'm trying to do here. So, kind of a rantful video, kind of quick on the bees, but that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about today, and that's pretty much all I got. Drew, yes, I got stung. I think it was the second video. I think I don't know, he landed on my hand or was on my clothes, or I probably flung him by accident when I was lifting off the lid. And yes, I did get stung. It only hurts for about 5 seconds and then it's gone. And if you look on the second video, I think I showed you guys how, like, I think I took this bottle cap from the old sprayer when I first introduced them, and I just went with it and I pulled it out, because if you squish that sack, the venom goes right in and then you got a swollen finger. And I'm not allergic to honeybees, at least, but it still hurts like a mother effer, but you get over it. It only lasts for like 5 seconds, but yeah, you can see me, you know, screaming about it for like a little girl. You know, from time to time on this channel, I will be a jackass. That's okay. It's all a learning experience, but I'm okay with looking like a jackass on camera. I don't really care. Everything on here is supposed to be fun, and I'm just talking to you guys in the middle of a yard and trying to cook up some honey. So hopefully everything goes well. That's really all I had today. If you guys have any further questions, please comment. Please message me on the page, message me on my personal Facebook. This video will be up on YouTube in just a little while. I am gonna go inside. The temperature has dropped, the sun went down, and the clouds are coming out. And I am gonna go inside. So tomorrow, I get off work. We will come back. I need you guys to stay tuned, because we will see if the in-frame feeder was any effect at all on trying to get them little guys in there. So we'll see what happens. So come back tomorrow, let's watch. I will try not to rant about little things tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. Thanks, guys.